Dr. Barbara Entsuah, I really am grateful that you are sharing part of your precious time with us this afternoon. As you know, I have started sharing information about breast screening, and I know that a lot of people are learning something from it. I have been doing mammography for a while, and I get patients always asking questions, so I thought it's a good idea to do this and post it online for whoever is interested to look at it. I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself before we start getting into the screening stuff. Thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, thanks. Well, my name is Barbara Entsuah, and I'm a family medicine physician. I've practiced medicine for over years. The last 20 or so has been in Florida. I'm a mother and a grandmother, and have an NGO, which my husband and I formed about 13, 14 years ago, to reach out to the people in Ghana and even to help people in Florida as well. And our NGO is mainly health and then education. On the health side, we do annual medical clinics in Ghana. We come to Ghana once or twice a year. We've been doing that for the past 13 or 14 years. And what we were doing before is what most people used to still do anyway. We choose a location or 3 locations, and during that 2-week period, we'll go to the different locations, have pharmacists, physicians, nurses on board, and just see people for acute problems, basically. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I thought about it and I said I would rather prefer to do something which is long-lasting. And so I switched more to prevention because I love women's health and anything to do in promoting women's health. I decided that I would focus on breast and cervical cancer screening. So for the past 4 or 5 years, that's what we've been doing. Instead of coming in and doing acute care and giving people medications and all that, we focus now on screening for cervical and breast cancer in Ghana. Apart from that, I do health talks, and I also write a monthly health article based on the health awareness month for that month. Okay, so like this month I wrote something on breast cancer, and I have it on modernghana.com over here. The last thing when it comes to education is that we have in the past gone to high schools and middle schools in Ghana, encouraging the kids to study, encouraging girls especially to realize that they are in control of their own body so that nobody can molest them sexually. Yeah. And then lastly, we also encourage them to have dreams and aspirations. And on top of that, we have a free clinic in the Eastern region at Boate Village, where we have about 130, 140 children who come in, and we have from pre-K now to junior high school 3.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm so busy doing here in Ghana. Yeah.
Wow. You are a very busy woman doing very important things. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
God bless you.
And you are doing a marvelous thing, what you're doing here. And I lift my heart out to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that coming from you. Thank you so much. So, breast cancer. Why is it a predominantly female disease? And why do a small percentage of men get this disease?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. And to be honest with you, even the experts don't know all the reasons, but there are certain things that we know, like you mentioned, that, like 99% of breast cancer is found in women, and 1 in 8 in the US would develop breast cancer. And in Ghana, for example, in the year 2020, they looked at some figures and they found out that really about a third of all cancers in Ghana are breast cancer, and then 20% are cervical cancer. And unfortunately, 50% of all those who are diagnosed will die of breast cancer, because most of the time in Ghana, the cancer has spread when it is discovered. However, going back to your question, we know that there are hormonal influences. The presence of female hormones, mostly estrogen and progesterone, do affect breast tissue. Then there are genetic factors, and people think environmental factors are also involved, and that's more like things like pesticides and so on and so forth. And when you have also things like radiation to the chest wall and so on, it might lead to an increased incidence of that. But yes, we have more of those hormones that influence breast cancer cells. And so that is why we think, so being female is number one. Then there are genes and so on and so forth. But basically, it is a disease of women, although men, 1 in 800 or so, may get breast cancer.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We have heard many times about triple negative breast cancer. If somebody gets a diagnosis with a triple negative, what are their chances? Are they likely to survive?
Okay, so when they refer to triple negative breast cancer, it means that the cancer cells, okay, usually they have what we call receptors or proteins around them. And those proteins or receptors can be estrogen receptor, progesterone receptor, or HER2 receptors. Okay, so what happens is that if those receptors are there, they would want to attach to the cells, basically. We are talking about the cancer cells, okay? And we are talking about estrogen and progesterone coming in and attaching to these receptors, okay? But then if we have medications, hormonal medications, that can attach to these protein or receptors, then the estrogen or progesterone cannot attach to the cancer cell and cause it to grow or spread. I hope I've made myself clear, because then in that way, you can have additional hormonal medicines that you can use to block estrogens or progesterone from attaching to the cells, and to make them grow.
Wow. Dr. Barbara Entsuah, you are doing such great work. And maybe we can connect later at some point, helping for women to go and get their mammograms.
Yeah.
I saw a video last month and I found it a little disturbing or interesting. I'm not sure which one to use. There was a male interviewer and a female who was speaking, and I'm not sure what her profession is.
Yeah.
Was talking about breast cancer. And she mentioned that it is important that men suck the breasts of their wives. And the man comfortably sat there and said, oh, then I must be saving a lot of lives because it is my daily bread.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought, if you have a platform like this, why don't you use it to help women? Real exams. So would you please speak on this, because it is out there that a man sucking his wife's breast can help reduce the risk of breast cancer? Please speak on
That is a false statement. It's one of those myths,
Yes.
regarding breast cancer. I mean, people joke about it, and I'm not sure whether they are trying to equate it to the fact that when you nurse a baby, breastfeeding reduces your risk of breast cancer. But that has to do with hormones, really, because during that time, you are not menstruating, you have decreased levels of progesterone and estrogen, and so you are not exposed to that amount of hormones, while you're breastfeeding. Just like it's the same with if you, for example, you start periods late, okay, and you end menopause early. If you end it early and you started late, then that gap is small, you understand, of your exposure to female hormones. And so you have a reduced risk of breast cancer. This is when they look at general population, but when it comes to individual. So in the same way, when you start having menses very early and you have menopause, like at 55, the average age for menopause is about 50. So you are exposed to a long period of female hormones. So your risk goes high. Okay. So those have to do with hormones, the breastfeeding, and then when you start having periods and when you stop menopause. But when it comes to men sucking a woman's breast, it doesn't prevent breast cancer. What you may find is if they are fondling the breast and whatever, they may find a mass. Just like if a woman is doing self-breast exam, she may find a mass in the same way. But just the act of sucking a woman's breast does not prevent breast cancer. So that's what the answer is. And I'm surprised that that actually was on, unless they were not serious. But to be honest with you, that is a myth. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, coming from a physician, I am glad that you are saying this. When I saw that, I said I could only imagine the number of women that this statement has been held over their heads. Hey,
Yes.
I'm trying to help prevent cancer in you.
Yes.
So this.
Yes.
I mean, if you and your spouse are doing something in your bedroom, that's your thing.
Yeah. That's your thing. Yeah.
To use that as
that is so false. That is so false.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, there's
I
no
have
truth
had
in
patients.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have had patients who have come in and when I'm taking their history, would say that, oh, my husband found a lump in such and such a and we image them and there is something there. So yes, like you said, I have had patients who confirm that is possible. If that was a joke video to cause it's a comical thing, I hope somebody seriously would say something on a platform like that, because I'm sure women have to endure
that is so sad.
It is.
That's so sad. Yeah, it's really sad. I actually also had seen a video, but it was also an oncologist in Nigeria debunking that, and saying that, that is not true. And then, I mean, it's all over in literature, in breast literature on breast cancer and all that. And when people are talking about the myths of regarding breast cancer, that's when you hear it a lot that it does not. If you are doing stuff in your bedroom and he has his hand around your breast and sees a lump, and most lumps which are kind of big enough are self-discovered by women. They are self-discovered by women when they are doing breast exams, or they are just maybe taking a shower and all that, and then they would come in and say, I found this mass or whatever, or my husband found it, like they're saying.
Right.
my partner found it. Yeah, but that is not correct.
I hope that this information can get to people to know
People.
that
Yeah.
that was just a joke, you know, and there's no scientific backing to that.
No, there isn't.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So what advice would you give to women to stay healthy?
That is so true. That's why my emphasis is on prevention. As they always say, prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
You want to prevent something, yeah. And that's when screening comes in. Okay. We know that there are several tests and procedures that have been developed to screen for certain cancers or diseases. So it means that you are checking for its presence before it comes or it's known to be present, basically. So we screen for hypertension by checking people's blood pressure, for example, and that is so important. When we even go to do our breast cancer and cervical cancer screening, I always do people's blood pressure because we Blacks, we are at an increased risk for high blood pressure. And when you're in Ghana, you hear so much about kidney disease and how people can't afford dialysis and so on. And one of the most common causes is untreated hypertension or hypertension that has not been treated well. You know, people are taking a medicine, they are taking lisinopril 5 milligram or 10 milligram a day, and their blood pressure is not controlled. That dose has to go up, you know. And in America, I have people who are on 4 blood pressure medications to get their blood pressure controlled. And I'd rather you be on 4 medicines and have control of your blood pressure than be on 1 medicine and not have control. And then you have the side effects of high blood pressure, which are many. And I don't want to go into it right now. Secondly, diabetes is a disease that has so many complications. And all we need is a simple blood test to see what your blood sugar is, your fasting blood sugar or your blood sugar 2 hours after you've eaten, you know. And so then you come to the cancers. Okay, we come to breast cancer, we come to cervical cancer, we come to colon cancer screening. Okay, there are about 6 different tests that can be used for colon cancer screening. Some are stool tests, some are procedures. And it's based on all of this that I decided to write a book for women, basically, you know, so that they will stay healthy and be able to look after their family and see their grandchildren as well. And so those cancers that we have screening tests for, try and go and do them. Okay. Other things like high blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, you know, hey, like we do in the US, people go for an annual physical. Okay, so I encourage people, even in places like Ghana, go and do an annual physical. Make an appointment, go to the doctor and tell them that I'm coming for a general physical and lab work, you know. And so they will check you for all the different things and hopefully do a physical on you. Then the other thing is lifestyle changes. Okay, but your lifestyle changes, they are so important in all the major diseases that are present. Exercise, you know, if it's just walking around your yard. And when I was working full-time in the US, lunchtime, I'll go and walk after I finish lunch. And my salad, the people I used to work with, they couldn't believe it. I ate salad almost every lunchtime. Or I have the salad for dinner. Okay.
So you practice what you preach.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because if I don't, and my patients used to see me walking, you know, and Florida is very hot, like here, you know, and so I walk, look for shady areas to walk. I say, yeah, we saw you walking, you know. I said, yes, because I can't tell you to do something I'm not doing.
That's great.
Count your steps, you know, find out how much you're doing, you know. If you are older like I am, hey, I'm retired. If you do 4,000 to 6,000 steps a day, that's even good. It decreases your risk of cardiovascular disease, you know. But younger ones like you, maybe 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day is what you need. But that's just one thing. So making sure you're having your fruits and your vegetables, and also watching your carbs, especially bread. We all love bread, but look,
Yeah.
that can spike your sugar up. And so I tell people, look, I love bagels, but I don't eat a whole bagel. I eat half a bagel, so that I can still have my bagel, but I'm having half and I'm good to go. So those are very simple things you can do, lifestyle changes. If you are overweight, try to limit your calories so that you can either lose weight. If you're obese, decrease your caloric intake so you lose weight. Exercise, eat right, okay, and try to live a stress-free life. And those are some of the things that would help you. Because if you are losing weight, that takes care of sugar, it takes care of cholesterol, and it takes care of blood pressure. All three of them are affected by exercise and weight loss. So these are simple things that we can do. And I tell people, you don't have to join a gym. You can just go walking, and that's enough. Walk with a friend, walk with your husband or your partner, fiance, or whoever. Go for a walk, So all of these things are things that we can. There are certain things we don't have control of, but there are things which we have control of. And that's what I want women to take control of their health. And that last thing also I need to stress is that if you've been put on medicine, take the medicine. Your healthcare provider knew you needed that medicine. That's why they put you on, And I tell my patients, look, take your diabetes medicine, take your blood pressure medicine. But if you could lose 20 pounds, hey, we will not be having this conversation.
Right.
Because you may not need the pills. But take your medicine as prescribed, And in Ghana, one of the things too is people will not take prescription medicines, but they will take herbal medicines. They are going to see a herbalist. Yeah, a herbalist. They put billboards and they put a stethoscope around their neck.
Oh my goodness.
And people are going to see them, and some of them don't have a clue of what they are doing. They will tell you to drink a cup of this or what, And I tell people, look, if you want herbal medicine, go to the Center for Plant Medicine, at Akropong. They have tested their medicines. They have done studies on their medicines. So if they've produced something for arthritis or for sickle cell disease or whatever, it's been tested. So yes, but all of these other people, I don't know, to be honest with you. And so be careful, because that's one of the reasons of kidney failure in Ghana today. It's not just high blood pressure. It's not just diabetes. It's herbal medicine. So I rest my case. So that's what I'm saying. And my book that I wrote for women, it's a reference book. It's not one that I expect you to sit down and read from page to page, from front to cover, because it's like 650 pages. But I cover from head to toe, basically. Yeah. And so I talk about everything. Your eyes, your ears, your nose, your neck, your spine, your breast, your abdomen, your female hormone, your genitalia, your musculoskeletal, and then I talk about mental health, and I even add spiritual health. And I say, hey, if you're not a spiritual person, that's fine, but read the other two portions. But me, I believe the spiritual life that I have has helped me be who I am today. And I felt it was important to put in it. So that's basically what I have to say about, preventive health and people taking control or charge of their health, And I have a hashtag, love your body, because if you love it, you want to take care of it.
That's true.
So, yeah. Okay, so I have even a copy of my book here, There it is.
Wow. Please tell us where we can find it.
In Ghana, it's in Ernest Pharmacy, Kingdom Books, EPP Store, Challenge Bookshop. In the US, it's on Amazon. After practicing medicine for about 40 years, I decided that I needed to write a book. And like you were saying, women are the gatekeepers. So I decided to write a book so that women can refer to it. You have high blood pressure, you turn to the chapter on high blood pressure, read it, and then you tell your husband, hey, you have to go and see the doctor, and make sure your blood pressure is okay. Or let's buy a blood pressure machine, which we can use at home. Very simple things. Or let's go for a walk. You are walking, he is walking. And that helps.
And please, what is the name of the book again?
It's called A Woman's Guide to Her Body and Her Total Health. Okay. And when I talk about total health, holistic health, that's why I did body, soul, and spirit. I talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, bipolar disease, schizophrenia, stress, and all that. It's all there.
That's great. That's great. I will go and get my copy. I will go to Amazon and get it. Thank you so much, Dr. Barbara Entsuah, for spending such precious time with us and for opening our eyes to so many important aspects of our lives. Screening is very important. Preventing something from happening. Some things, like you said, we have control. Other things, we don't. The ones that we have control, we do something about it.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. This is what I do, and I really enjoy doing it, So I'm glad to be here and to have this time with you. It's been wonderful. And hopefully we would have more times together in the past talking about different things. But ladies and anybody else who is listening, gentlemen, if you are, all we are saying is that, let's do what we can to prevent disease, because there are certain things in which our health is in our hands, like I say. And there are certain things, like you said, genetics, inheritance, you have it. You can't, but you do what you need to do, so that you can keep healthy. I'm very happy I was able to be here. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on Life Matters with Judith. I really appreciate it, and I know that my audience are going to love this. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you too.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
So friends, we heard what the doc said. In life, the things that we cannot control, we accept it and we make the best of it. But the things that we can control, we have been admonished to do something about it. Go and get your screenings done. Thank you so much. Let us continue to encourage each other and build each other up, as opposed to tearing each other down. Until I see you next time, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourself and to others. Thank you, and God bless you.